Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and when I start getting messages, I'm going to start. As soon as I get all of my story out, I'm going to start teaching people about the Spirit, about our Spirit, the living Spirit. So, if you've watched my entire story of how Brian had come to my life, how God brought him to my life, how he sent me messages when I was 8 years old, and then again when I was 18, and then I meet Brian, and Brian and I are from the same reserve, but we've never lived on it, and that his grandmother said I was an answered prayer. It's really my children who are the answered prayers, right? I just gave that opportunity for the prayers to be answered. I was the vessel. So, and then when I was pregnant with my first daughter and we had separated, and Brian's eyes had changed color, and he tried to physically attack me and hit me over the stomach. Like all of those things that had happened in our relationship, it was a short amount of time that so many things would happen. And if you remember, there was 2 girls in Fort St. John whose names I had mentioned. One was Brooke, and the other one was Denise. Denise was the girl that he had gone to see for her birthday party, the day that I had seen all the crows. Denise was also the same girl that came to Edmonton before all of the supernatural phenomenon started to happen with my family, and before Brian and I separated. And then when Brian and I separated, he ended up going back to Fort St. John, and he got into a relationship with this girl, and he was not a part of our children's lives for 4.5 years. He made very good money and never sent our daughters a cent. I lived on welfare without the help of my ex-husband. But I never put that against him. These are patterns that I seen, but I couldn't put together until my mind wasn't foggy anymore. And the girl Brooke, meets her in Fort St. John when we had separated. There was 2 of them. There was 2 women that were used, that the spirits used to try to pull my ex-husband away. In Fort St. John, these 2 young girls were used, and then again they were brought in 2001 and the end of 2000, Brooke and Denise. But Brian had broken Brooke's heart when he met her in Fort St. John. And because he broke her heart, she wasn't their instrument any longer. So when Brian met Brooke, Brooke didn't go with Brian. She went with his friend and ended up coming. But what she ended up doing was she befriended me. And I knew right away I thought that it was pretty odd that he introduced her as Amanda, and that she said that her name was Brooke, and the way that she looked at him. These two looked like they had known each other. They had met. And she became my friend. She became my friend. And when Brian and I separated in 2002, and he went with Denise, I had pulled myself completely away, and I had gone to Lethbridge. And in Lethbridge, I had a really good life. I had been warned about the Blackfoot over there, and that I'm Cree, and that the Blackfoot and the Cree, they had a fight back in the day. And I was like, that was back then. This is today. And moving to Lethbridge was the best decision I could have ever made. I made so many friends there. Like, I have so many good memories from Lethbridge. I went there, I finished my high school. I had gotten 2.5 years clean, my first stretch. I want to see how far this video is and then decide whether or not, okay, I can tell you about it. So, when I was 2.5 years clean, this is 2004, I met this guy in recovery, and I ended up 13-stepping him. Really, when I look back on it, it was like I was 13-stepping him, but he actually he was one of those instruments that lure us. And he lured me. He lured me into feeling sorry for him. Sorry for him and his actions. He was using his addiction to get sympathy from me. So he goes and asks me if I can do 3-way calls for him, for these guys that are in jail with him. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem, I can do that. And then it began to, oh, could you pick up this one thing and drop it off? Somebody's going to drop something off for you, and I need you to come and drop these off at certain spots that the work crew was going to be at. And I was doing it. And I am told that by dropping these packages off, and by making these phone calls, he's getting put money into his canteen. And he's telling me, and it's the same thing all over the place, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, they don't feed you enough in here, and blah blah blah. And I got suckered right into it. And then I started talking to the other friends, and then I was asked by my boyfriend if this guy could come and stay with me. He was moving to Lethbridge to be closer to his brother, and so he could have visits and stuff. And his place wasn't ready, and he was already moved out of his previous place. So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, instead of one guy showing up at my door, 3 guys ended up showing up at my door. And I wished that they never came, because I ended up losing everything. I had a good job. I was working at the food bank, and I loved my position. I was helping people to help themselves and giving suggestions and doing different things in there to help people, like to really help people, not just to give a little band-aid for something, like to try to drop those numbers where people needed help every month, to try to drop those numbers. I would listen to the people's story and check to see how many people were in their family, and if they were big families, I would give them bigger quantities of things to cut down on their grocery bill, or to, you know, pull their bill down a little bit, give them a little bit of groceries so that they can put that money towards a bill. And the numbers started dropping. I did birthday packages and a whole bunch of different things. I loved my job, absolutely loved my job. And I lost everything because I listened. I listened not to my heart, but to the story. I listened to his poor me story. I listened to their poor me stories. And these guys that came to my house, it was another attack on me. But this time, I was on my own. But I can't succeed. I can't do anything to succeed in life. Because once somebody finds out that, hey, she's doing really good, she's making good money, she's gonna to rise, but we got to steal that away from her, because we're in debt and we need to take that money from somewhere. So we're going to take it from her, and we're going to take it from him, and we're going to take it from them. Oh, and our relationship is crumbling because I got you using a curse. So I have to steal somebody else's relationship. And that's how black magic works. You have to take from one in order to give to the other. Because there's balance to everything. Creator made everything so that it's balanced, but it's not Creator who gave black magic. He wasn't the creator of lies. He wasn't the creator of deception. He was the creator of love, kindness, respect, dignity, honesty. He wasn't the creator of greed and lust and desire. This saying, like, it irritates me, the heart's desire. My heart never desired anything. My heart longed for things. My heart longed for a husband, for children. I didn't desire. It's not the heart desires. It's the heart longs for. And the heart wants and needs family, love,